I'm Merrill, and I'm happy to be here with you to introduce the third of our series on how to meditate simply. This is just the stuff that our teacher taught us. My teacher was a very good teacher in terms of helping us understand the simple aspects of meditation, and we're going to present that to you. But first, I'd like to introduce our panel to you. Would you folks just say your name and maybe something that's been on your mind lately so we could get to know you a little bit?
Okay, my name is Sue, and I've been going to physical therapy for an injury, so I'm a little concerned about getting better quick enough because I'm going on vacation in a couple of weeks.
Got it. Thank you.
My name's Arthur. I work as a financial consultant, but the company I'm with is very, very shaky, and I'm concerned that it won't be around much longer.
Got it.
I'm Michelle, and I've just been thinking about how to plan for the future in terms of school and my future career.
Yeah.
My name is Peter, and I'm thinking with my wife of selling our house and moving into a smaller apartment, and there's a lot of logistics and selling off of pianos and other large items, so there's a lot to think about.
Yeah, got that. Okay, thank you very much. Well, you may remember in our last show, I asked you to do just breathing meditation and to do it regularly, at least 5 minutes a day. And let's just review it, do it together now. So please close your eyes. And the first thing we do is put our attention on our breathing. So just become very aware of the air coming in and the air going out. And just enjoy the breathing. And I want you to stay with your breathing. That is, leave your awareness on your breathing and let my voice be in the background. In the foreground is breathing awareness. And if you have any thoughts, just let them come, let them go. Your mind will never stop, so you may think of things, but just don't buy into them at the moment. Don't get lost in anything that shows up in your consciousness, your backache, your hip, your car, anything. Just notice what comes up, but let it go, let it come and go, and stay aware of your breathing. And enjoy the air coming in and the air going out. The trick to breathing meditation is just to stay with your breathing and not to get lost in any thoughts that occur to you. However, we do get lost from time to time. That happens inevitably because some things come up that are gripping. So we'll start thinking about this or that and we'll forget about our breathing. So whenever that happens, we just notice, oops, I'm thinking about this or that, and I'm lost in something. I forget about my breathing. Just let go of what's preoccupying you at that moment and go back to your breathing. You'll always be breathing, so you can always become aware of it. Now you remember that. So please open your eyes, please. And tell me, how is that going for you? Were you able to do it regularly? And did you have any questions or problems with it? Sue?
It's going pretty well. I still have to work on my consistency and being regular. Sometimes, Merrill, I can't stop thinking.
Yeah.
My mind just goes on and on.
Your mind will never stop thinking. Yeah. The trick is not to stop it or not to even be sorry that it keeps going. The idea is to just notice it and have priority. A little bit like the kids are in the playroom in the next room and they're playing and you're aware of it, but you're busy checking your mail or doing what you're doing. You're aware of it, but you're not buying into it at the moment. That's important. Okay? So try that. Don't feel badly that your mind doesn't stop. That'll slow down your progress because our mind isn't supposed to stop. This is training really in awareness of where we place our awareness. Do we place our awareness in whatever comes up for us and we get stuck in it? If we do that, then we have no control over our lives. So we want to, during meditation at least, notice when something comes up, let it go, and go back to the focus, which in this case was breathing awareness.
Thank you.
Art?
Pretty much the same problem. Thoughts come in, and sometimes they're interesting, sometimes it's a reminder or a good idea, and you start to work with the thought, and it takes a while to say, oh, wait a minute, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And that I'm not all that good on yet.
Okay, no, that's why we practice. That's fine. Allow yourself to get lost in stuff, and when you notice it, extract your awareness and put it on your breathing. Little by little, as you do this, it gets easier and softer and faster. But we got to practice like anything else. That's exactly why we practice daily.
Okay.
Yeah, Michelle?
My sleep schedule's pretty erratic, but I'm pretty good at doing it at some point when I wake up, whether it's like 7 a.m. or 2 in the afternoon. But it was really helpful. I was having an argument with someone, and I was getting really defensive, and then I just closed my eyes, and I was focusing on my breath, and I realized that I was defending something that I didn't even believe in, and after I calmed down, I was I didn't even care about it anymore. It wasn't on my mind. So I've been using it more in stressful situations than
That's an excellent
regularly.
way to use it. And I would encourage you viewers to use breathing meditation just that way. Whenever you find yourself getting upset about something, stewing in some feeling or a problem that you're not making progress with, it's not comfortable for you, just back off and notice, oh, I'm stewing in this, I'm angry with that, I'm worried about that, and shift your awareness to your breathing. Leave the issue in the background. And like Michelle did, I think you'll find it gives you perspective. You'll get hooked less tightly, for a long period of time. You'll feel freer and easier. Is that what happened to you, Michelle?
Yeah, I had been I felt that someone had attacked me, so I was just defending myself, and then I was attached to the thoughts, but then after I focused on my breathing, the thoughts just weren't there anymore, because I truly didn't even care what I was arguing about. It was just my ego.
God, that's very natural. When somebody attacks us or disagrees with us, it feels like an attack somehow. We're attached to our thoughts and beliefs. So, good for you. Peter, how's it been for you?
It's been good. Like Sue and Art, my concern has been trying not to fight off thoughts or get into trying to actively push them out of my mind rather than sort of just watching them and letting them go. I have to remind myself not to try to put the brake on so much as just release and give them a name, as I've heard, and let them float off.
Yeah. We don't want to push thoughts away. The idea is not to have a thought and then to reject it. That what starts conflict in ourselves. The idea is just to expand ourselves. Now we have the thought and now we're aware of our breathing. So we're bigger. There's more of us to operate. We're more settled, more balanced, and we'll be thrown less easily. We want to expand, not push this or that. And it doesn't make any difference whether it's a good thought or a bad thought. We just don't want it, during meditation at least, to be lost in it. We want to be our whole self. Let me remind ourselves why we're doing this. Let's look at this sign for a moment. We may remember from the outset I asked you, when do you feel fully alive? How are you? And we looked at it and we found out that when we're fully alive, we feel peaceful, loving, joyous, energetic. When we're fully alive, we feel centered, confident, together, aware. And every once in a while, we will feel that way. Those kinds of feelings will come up for us. And when those feelings come up for us, we say, now we're fully alive. That's the missing piece for many of us. That's what we want to uncover. So we want to get bigger. And when I say bigger, this sign might help us too. Look at this poster. We've got a body, that's your bones and your muscles and all that stuff, your glands. We've also got a mind. That's our thoughts and our memories and our wishes and our hopes. And our wish is very different than a bone. You can see they're different parts of us, but they're both us. We all have a mind and a body. But we also have a third part of us that's an essential self. And the essential self is interesting for us to look at for now. Well, for one reason, the essential self is the location of those fully alive qualities. That stuff, feeling peaceful, loving, joyous, and so on, is not a mind quality. There's no way you can convince yourself to be peaceful, loving, or joyous. It doesn't make any difference what you believe or how wise you are. You may have noticed that even children can be peaceful, loving, and joyous. The mind and the body are different than the essential self. Those essential qualities, that are fully alive qualities, are essentially human qualities. They're in all of us all the time. Doesn't make any difference how old we are, or how smart we are, how rich we are. We can all have access to that stuff. And that's what meditation is doing. It's releasing our being controlled by our mind stuff and opening ourselves so there's room for that stuff that lies in us to come forth. Our full aliveness, our love, our peace, our joy, our wisdom, all that kind of thing. So it's very important to remember that you are, basically, you are essentially that kind of a person. That's your essence. Everything in nature has an essence. Trees have an essence, you know, they grow down and they grow up. Rivers have an essence. Mountains have an essence. Galaxies have an essence. In nature, there's a certain essence to things. And the essence for humans is that essential self part of us that is stable even as our mind and our body changes. Any questions about that? That makes sense?
Yeah.
That's why we meditate. So we have access to more of that solidly good human stuff inside us. It's part of the human condition. Our joy, our peace, our love. And so that's why we have to expand ourselves. And that's why we don't want to be, during meditation, tied up with our mind stuff. Okay? So now we're going to go on and learn a new meditation that makes use of a mantra. Now, a mantra is a very interesting thing. We'd use the mantra called Ananda. And Ananda is a Sanskrit word, and it means essentially joy, pure peace. But we don't care so much about the meaning. It has a nice sound to it. Ananda. And it turns out that that was the sound that my teacher first gave me when he taught me to meditate. And that's the sound that his teacher gave him when he learned to meditate. There's a history of that sound. It kind of carries a special vibration. And it carries a vibration that'll take us into our essence. It's a way of getting in, awakening, activating our essential selves. That part below our mind that's so important, that we want to get into our lives so we become an integrated mind, body, and soul, and we're not tied up with temporary or little things all the time. So meditation is a process for becoming an integrated mind, body, and soul, or mind, body, and essence. And Ananda will help us do it. Let's try it. Put your hands together, please, and close your eyes. And we first start off by becoming aware of our breathing, just like we did before. Become very aware of how the air is coming in and the air is going out. Just notice the breathing, the air coming in, the air going out. And now I want you to start saying to yourself inside, not out loud, the sound of a nam, nam. Just think that sound In a way, I want you to drop it into your essence in some loving, joyous, soft way. Ananda is a vibration that'll take you down below your mind, below your body, and it'll reach down into your essence, and it'll kind of reverberate and open up that part of you. So in a loving, joyous, very pleasant way, say Ananda. Just drop it into the center of you like a leaf falling, not like a pebble dropping hard, but just by a leaf floating down. You want to awaken your center easily and gently. And although we started with breathing, awareness of our breathing, now we've shifted to Ananda. And you can stay aware of your breathing if you want to while you're saying Ananda, but you can let go of your breathing if you like. And just say Ananda. Just let it float down easily into your center. Now your mind won't stop as before, your ears don't stop, you'll hear my voice. But leave it in the background. In the foreground now is Ananda. If you find that you forgot about Ananda, you're just worrying about something's preoccupying you, that happens, not a problem. Just notice what's preoccupying you, and if you're visual, let it float away, or maybe give it a name, or in some way let it go, and just start over. And we start over here by going first to our breathing, centering in our breathing awareness, and then when we're centered in breathing awareness, we start Ananda. Okay, please slowly open your eyes. That was just an introduction to mantra meditation. It has 2 steps and it looks like this. First, we center on breathing awareness. Become very aware of the air coming in, the air going out. Once we're very aware of our breathing, then we start centering on Ananda. Kind of gently sending that to our essence and inviting it to rebound back. We leave our mind going, doing whatever it does. We don't worry about that. But whenever we notice that both have disappeared from our awareness, that is, our breathing and Ananda, we just go return to one. Center on our breathing, and then on Ananda. Got the idea? Simple enough. Any questions about that? Any problems you foresee? No. Your mind will keep operating, remember. That's an important point. So you don't try to stop your mind. You don't try to reject anything in your mind. We never want to have part of ourselves fighting another part of ourselves. Like part of us saying, no, I don't want to be thinking about that. Another part of us is thinking about that. We don't want inner conflict. We want inner peace. So we accept whatever comes up in our minds. Yes, Sue?
I actually like it. I find it simpler to focus on Ananda than my breathing.
Good.
And I kind of have a visual image of the word.
Nice, yeah.
So,
It turns out that mantra meditation, which we're now going to be using regularly, is easier for most people than breathing. It gives you 2 things on which to put your attention rather than just breathing. And it helps you keep away from getting lost in thought. Indeed. Okay, so now let's try it by ourselves, and I'll give you a little more time. So close your eyes and go into breathing awareness. And you folks home or viewing wherever you are, I recommend you do this along with the group and get a sense of how it feels to do this mantra meditation. So we start by putting our attention on our breathing. And once you're aware of your breathing, fully centered there, start creating that sound inside you. Gently drop it into the center of yourself. Let thoughts come and go in the background. But if you ever find yourself preoccupied, so you forgot both about your breathing and you forgot about Ananda, just start over. Go back and become aware of your breathing. And once you're fully established in breathing awareness, shift to Ananda. Okay, slowly open your eyes. That has a different feel to it, doesn't it, than just breathing awareness. So from now on, this is what I want you to do. Do you have any questions about that?
I think there's a risk of falling asleep.
Yeah. There's a risk to that because you're relaxing. We're so preoccupied by our mind stuff that we get tight. During meditation, we relax, and you can become sleepy, and that's all right. If you become sleepy, allow yourself to become sleepy. If you ever notice you fell asleep, just start all over again. Rules are simple. Just go back to breathing awareness. You'll always be breathing, so you can always shift your attention to it. And once you're established in breathing awareness, it'll awaken that deepest part of us. That essential self is where our ability to be peaceful, loving, joyous, energetic, feel centered, confident, all that stuff. That's the essence of humans. Okay? Okay. So more specifically, your assignment for next time, at least 5 minutes every day, I want you to sit quietly. At a certain time, I want you to slot it into your daily routines. Like you might do it right in the morning after you've brushed your teeth. Or you might do it after you've gotten washed or after you've exercised. Sometime certain, I want you to slot it in. What I don't want you to do is wait until the time feels right. Can you guess why waiting until the time feels right is not a good idea?
It won't
It's never
happen.
going to feel right.
It'll never feel. We're so busy, there's so many things to do, we'll just forget about it. So in the beginning, you have to slot it in some regular way. Like Peter, what is a good time for you to slot it in the morning?
Before I leave to go out for
Before
work.
you leave the house, yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Michelle?
Immediately after I wake up.
First thing in the morning after you wake up, yeah.
Same thing, first thing.
Good, yeah.
Probably right after I have coffee.
Good. Before you get involved with anything else. Fine. As long as you do it keyed into something you ordinarily do, it'll be easier to get into a habit. And it's best done before a meal. If you want to do it twice a day, which is recommended, You might do it sometime before dinner, not late at night. Although if you have trouble sleeping, or if you wake up in the middle of the night and have trouble going back to sleep, you can also do it then. But make that an extra time, because you may just fall asleep and you'll never get to the full timer. So what you do is you set your timer, you sit down and do mantra meditation this way. You put your attention on your breathing, then Ananda, and you keep it up until the timer goes off. Now the key thing is to be time certain, to don't quit early. Because what will happen is something will come up in your mind and say, oh boy, I gotta get to this, I can't stick with it anymore, and you'll be tempted to quit. And if you quit at the first hump, the hurdle, you'll never get through to the 5 minutes, or the 10 minutes, or the 20 minutes. You can do it for 10 or 20 minutes if you like eventually. 20 minutes is the ideal dose we'll work toward, but we're going to go in small increments. So move at your own speed. But when something comes up that feels urgent, like you need to quit, give it a name, like all that stuff I got to do, or the phone call I got to make, or see it float away, and go back to breathing awareness, even while that thing is in your mind. It'll be in your mind, but you'll be aware of your breathing. And then if you can say Ananda, and as you get bigger, with your awareness expanding to your breathing and to Ananda, that thing that was so important at the moment will seem less important, and it may even fade away, so you'll be able to continue the breathing until the timer goes off. So use impulses to quit as things to be aware of, accept, and not give into. Got it? And we'll see where you are all next time. Good luck, thanks for watching, and we'll pick it up and do more next time.